Hey everyone, we got some big news for NIO stock investors as the company's CFO highlighted the latest developments in terms of revenue, profit margin, and forecast for the company's product launches going forward. So I'll review those developments in this video and highlight what they could mean for NIO stock investors. Let's take a look. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. Right, so the CFO saying that for the first quarter of 2024, total revenue was down 7.2% year over year. The decrease was primarily attributed to lower average selling prices as a result of user rights adjustments since June of 2023 and the decrease in delivery volume. So, two-sided decrease here. Not only are they selling at lower prices, but they're also selling fewer units. So both decreasing NIO's sales in the recent quarter compared to the same quarter last year. One of the reasons being that they were launching new models, so consumers could have just waited and said, let me just wait for the new models to come out and I'll get one of those. And that looks like what happened, as the sales in April and May, which are not included in the first quarter, are absolutely soaring for NIO. So the overall gross profit margin came in at 4.9% compared with 1.5% in the same quarter last year. So the vehicle margin was 9.2% in this quarter compared with 5.1% in the first quarter of 2023. What this shows is that the vehicle margins are positive for the company, but the rest of the business is negative, and that's bringing down the overall company gross profit margin. Vehicle margins did achieve higher than double digits in the previous quarter, but then in this latest quarter, they fell back to 9.2%. What I'll be watching closely in the upcoming quarter is if this gross profit margin jumped back up. Given that sales are up by so much already in NIO's second quarter, I do want to see that coupled with higher gross profit margin. If I don't see that in the upcoming quarter, even with sales up over 100%, which is, it looks like what NIO will report in the upcoming quarter, if even after sales growing by 100%, they still can't generate double-digit profit margin, I would be very concerned as a NIO stock investor. I would already be very concerned as a NIO stock investor as the company has proceeded to lose massive sums of money on the bottom line for a prolonged period as it invests in its growth while neglecting focusing on profitability or sustainable growth. So one of the reasons the margin improved in the quarter was a decrease of material cost per unit in Q1 2024, and that's been an industry-wide phenomenon. Thankfully, the costs per unit have been decreasing. The commodity prices, material prices have been decreasing as supply growth has been decreasing. So in 2020, 2021, 2022, everyone and their cousin was launching an EV brand or an EV company or a new EV model, and all of that excess inventory coming into the market put a lot of pressure on the commodity price, the materials that go into an electric vehicle. Now that reality is setting in for electric vehicle sales, they're not that robust, especially outside of China. The pressure on commodity price has decreased. So not that much increase coming in. And when you're not ordering that many materials because you're not planning to increase production all that much, it had the effect of bringing down the material costs. So that's been good news for the industry. One of the ways NIO is boosting sales is by increasing promotion. The company for a long time resisted the temptation to battle in this competitive market. They were choosing to kind of stay out of the competition and just, spend their focus on research and development and create innovative new models. And that's the way they wanted to get customers to buy their vehicles. But given the increasing intensity of competition, everyone else is offering lower prices, increased promotion. NIO felt the need to compete because without it, they were losing market share. They were not gaining as much market share as they were hoping for. So one of the ways that showed up in the company's financial statement is an increase in SG&A expenses. which jumped by 22.5% year over year. So SG&A expense jumped by 22.5%, while revenue fell by 7.5%. That's not a combination you like to see. You like to see when companies increase spending on sales and marketing activities, that it results in an increase in sales. But that wasn't the case in the first quarter. That is the case for the second quarter. So in NIO's second quarter, which they're not reporting yet, they just gave us a sneak peek into, it looks really strong. Sales look really strong. So thankfully, it is coming along nicely for NIO in the second quarter. So one of the things they did is hire more sales staff. They told us a couple of quarters ago that they were way behind the industry in terms of the number of salespeople. And so they ramped up some hiring to increase their salespeople, and that helped in boosting sales. And then they also increased their sales and marketing activities in the quarter. So their loss from operations came in at 5.4 billion RMB, 5.4 billion RMB loss on the bottom line, which was slightly up by 5.5% year over year and a decrease from the previous quarter. So the company has been losing money on the bottom line for a very long time, and it doesn't look like these are going to end anytime soon. It is still investing aggressively in growth. It has its second model coming out, the lower priced family SUV that's coming out in September, that deliveries are coming out in September. It's already taking pre-orders for that model. And then it already has plans for a third model or a third brand that's coming out sometime next year, maybe early the year after that. And so it's still investing aggressively in growth. And with all this investment, that makes it unlikely the company will reach profitability anytime soon. So it's still very much in growth mode, very much in investment mode. So investors should not reasonably expect NIO to reach profitability anytime soon. Growth is solid, especially in the second quarter, but the growth has been inconsistent. They have some quarters where it explodes, and then they have quarters like the first quarter where it was down year over year. And so growth has been inconsistent for NIO. I would like to see more consistency from this company in terms of growth. Now, the EV market in China is growing nicely. Outside of China, EVs are not growing as well, especially in the US. So NIO is in the right market. And now with the lower priced brands coming out, that should allow it wider adoption, so more units sold. And given the wider adoption, that may allow it some economies in scale, which could then lead to profitability. So that's the hope, that's the aim, although it's still highly uncertain. So investors should pay attention, look at these updates every quarter from the company, and don't get ahead of yourself just paying attention to the growth without understanding that growth in sales does not necessarily lead to growth on the bottom line, which is vital for increasing stock values. You've got to be able to generate profits if you want to increase your stock price. Because when you're buying a piece of a stock, or when you're buying a stock, you're buying a piece of the business. And if the business is not profitable, why would anyone want to own a piece of the business that's not profitable? You want a business that's profitable. You want to own a profitable business because you want money coming back to you. You don't want to keep putting money into a business, right? You want the money to go in the reverse direction. You want money coming back. So that's where investors need to pay more focus on, is if this company can reach profitability. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I know there's a lot you could be doing with your time and a lot of other videos you could be watching. So I truly appreciate that you chose to watch this one. If you want to see more videos just like this, hit the subscribe or the like button. They'll both help me make more videos just like this one. Thank you again.